What's up, Bleach fans? It's your host with the most, Griever, as always, for this beautiful Movember review for Bleach, episode 5 of the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. We cover, in this particular episode, half of Volume 57. We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good for pacing. Once again, bringing up the pacing, I don't know why people complain. One thing I want to note right before we get underway is the fact that on the precipice of defeat, from the original OST is, I believe it was played last episode or the episode before, but it is currently, once again, I forgot to mention it if it was, one of my favorite Bleach, just that unique sound, that really stringy guitar, whatever's going on there, that techno guitar. Definitely, or maybe it's violin, I have no idea. I'm not that musically inclined. But that song is, of course, an iconic song from Bleach and now has been remixed here. I believe it was played an episode or two ago, as I said, but it is played here as well in this episode. So since I didn't mention it in previous reviews, want to mention it right now. Love the remix. Love the redone version of that, and you can just hear it. You can hear the strings, and I'm just like, yeah, there we go. There we go. Let's go, Bleach. So this particular episode is probably, you could argue, I mean, the hype, of course, was the episode 1, right? The hype was there. But this is probably so far the best episode, I would say. Wouldn't you guys say? Because this is where a lot of the action happens. This is where we have Asuna versus Byakuya and Renji. And, well, we saw how that turned out. Then we also get the fan favorite, and anybody who doesn't like him, well, I just don't know what to do with you. Kenpachi Zaraki. The man shows up with 3 goddamn corpses. He's like, everyone's been fighting against this guy. Shunsui, I still don't understand how Shunsui got his eye shot out, by the way. Like, he literally was taking that fight too lax, and he fucked up. I do not believe that was a straight up loss. Like, he was paying attention. I feel like that man was only at half mast the entire time. You know, sort of idea, up until, well, this episode. Because there's no way, like, he was caught unawares or whatever, but I feel like he wasn't taking the fight seriously enough, because Kenpachi rolls up with these dudes who have just basically fucked up Rukia, fucked up Renji, murdered Byakuya for the most part. Everyone's losing here, you know, the science division is losing. We got Bankai stolen, we got lieutenants failing. And then all of a sudden, Kenpachi drops like corpses at at his majesty's feet and goes, "You the boss of these? Here, I want a refund. Here's my receipt," you know? And then we get to see Kenpachi exactly what he did. Turn into a giant ape. Cut him in 2. That was pretty simple. One guy went on and on about how he was the greatest and how he was going to be everything, but he just kept talking about his ability, so I tore his throat out. Problem solved. I don't really like to listen to people. And then, the next guy, he actually, I'll be honest, gave me a bit of trouble. He turned into me. And I mean, look at me. I'm pretty fucking awesome. However, that dude only had the impression of how powerful I was. And I knew I was stronger than what he thought that I thought that he was. Actually, pretty smart for Kenpachi overall. You can do the meathead attitude, like the way he says it, like, I just needed to be stronger than I previously was or whatever. But in this particular subtitle, so I wonder how they do the English dub line, he basically says, I needed to become stronger than his perception of becoming me was. Which is quite interesting, because that shows that Kenpachi was actually thinking kind of smart in this one. Like, he wasn't doing the meathead, like, I just needed to be stronger than me. You know, that's the meathead attitude. No, that's not exactly what he said. He said, not that he needed to be stronger than himself, he needed that dude became him as strong as that dude thought I was. So I just became, and it's not that I became stronger, that dude had no idea how fucking strong I was. So I cut him down. And it's like, all right, you know what? I like that because it's showing the intelligence of the bloodlust Kenpachi. And pretty cool. And now he's going to go attack. And he tells Hashwall to fuck off. And then fucking says, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to this motherfucker. Let's go. Boom. And then we don't get to see the rest of that fight because we know exactly what's going to happen. Which is very unfortunate. Would have liked to see that. And actually, little disrespectful here. Little disrespectful considering what we know about Yuabak, right? About Yua up in this bitch. So, yeah, that happened. As I said, this episode was fucking fire, the animation and stuff, and just constantly jumping to Ichigo, losing his fucking mind, losing his shit, showcasing that scene from this volume, that scene where he was just like everyone's depending on me, and he could hear all the voices, and he's just like, Getsuga, Tensha, boom, and just keeps trying to open up this fucking prison, and it's just not, it's not happening, which, once again, just want to say one thing. Regardless of His Majesty bestowing the letters and all that stuff, not gonna lie to you guys, I feel like, not that that's broken, but if I'm remembering correctly, and I don't want to give anything away, I don't want to do too far in the head of spoilers here. Like, I will spoil things that happen in the manga, you know, but like currently in this volume. But I'm not trying to spoil the whole thing for anime-only people as best I can. And letters have been defeated before. And as we just saw with Kenpachi, the letter abilities don't matter shit when you just go, fuck you. You know? And I'm not totally convinced that the Jailer's J can really hold against Bankai Ichigo at his level. Not repeated Getsuga Tenshos at close range beating the ever-loving shit out of this goddamn thing. I'm not convinced that the Jailer can cage Ichigo like that. That is one thing that always kind of griped me. And we're not even going to bring up the fact that he's not holofying for some reason. That's a big question in the community too. For a long time, why isn't he holofying at this point? At the time there was a theory that he couldn't anymore, but once again, spoilers, we know that not to be the case, so you would think at this point he would mask up and then Getsuga Tensho and then a hollow, because remember, hollows are poison, so I'm not convinced that the holified Getsuga Tensho would not break out of that fucking jail. I'm not convinced. But you guys let me know your theories down in the comment section down below about that. I think a holified Getsuga Tensho cracks the fuck out of this thing. Breaks this like a goddamn Sunday egg for breakfast. That's what I'm saying. But it's very good to cut in between, like not just show the scene, but they keep cutting in between, showing Byakuya and everybody, and him losing, and then jumping from Asnot and the fear, which, once again, I think the fear was defeated in a similar... Anyways, not just brute strength, but the letters can be defeated. They're not definite... This is the way it is. They can be overruled. They can be defeated. So that's my argument there for that. But the Byakuya stuff, looking really fire, looking really good. Then we jump over. We do some other stuff. With Ichigo and all that good jazz. What else do we do? We jump. Oh, we do Chodrio's Bankai at the end there in Yamamoto, and it's just like. Yeah, that was a good scene. That they extended that scene slightly. They extended that scene a bit. Looks pretty good. Looked really nice. I liked it. A lot of people were upset that we didn't get the eulogy about the man that never used his Bankai. It's sort of given over here to the overkill and that kind of idea while he's fighting Hisagi. And all that happens. We see Jidambo attacking. Kisuke, of course. The Jailer, by the way, is sliced down. We know who that is. I don't need to spoil it. We know who that is, and even Kisuke is caught unawares, which is very surprising. Kisuke of all people, but we're trying to show the threat. We're trying to show the danger of these fucking guys, right? So, and then we have Yamamoto. This was a great way to end the episode. Him with the Chodrio's Bankai and stuff. He burns this guy to ash he takes a Bankai blast without flinching and just goes, no, boom, let's go, Ryujin Jika, and then he says, don't worry about it. I'm going to literally eliminate every single member of the rebel army myself. Bye. Boom. And then all the other captains and lieutenants are like, well, we got to get the fuck up because the head captain's pissed, and I think some of that anger is at us for fucking not taking care of these goddamn enemies. As Shunsui says, I don't remember training and raising a coward who would fail to an enemy of this caliber. Are you fucking kidding me? And Shunsui is like, all right, time to go to work, boom, and he jumps in. All the other captains say their remarks about the fact that the head captain is now fighting. And it would be incredibly interesting. Yamamoto, of course, is super confident. But I'm curious as to what would happen because a lot of people put certain Sternritters above Yamamoto in power scaling. I would have been interested to see had Yamamoto, maybe before going straight for where he's going, go up against a couple more and just do the same thing to the overkill. I don't need Bankai for you. Ryujin Jaka! Boom! All things in the universe turn to ashes. I mean, if you wanted to say that the Sternritter letters mean business, Ryujin Jaka is literally Eisen sealed it for a reason. All things in the universe turn to ashes. It's a statement. It's not a question. It's not a maybe. It's a this sword turns anything he wants into ash. I'm not convinced he couldn't burn away half the Sternritters before, going to the battlegrounds. So anyways, this particular episode, as I said, the OST was on point with some refurbished original OSTs, and the animation was solid, and the pacing was perfect. We get the devastation now. We get the threat of these guys. This is why people put the first invasion as good or sometimes better than the Soul Society. The arc as a whole, of course, sometimes people separate. Now, I don't think that's fair to separate the first invasion from the rest of the Thousand Year Blood War arc. That's not how it works. You can't just pick a point and pull it out. So I argue against the first invasion thing because people make tier lists all the time. I argue that that's not fair because you're just taking the highlights, the best part of something, and forgetting the rest. That's just not fair to everybody else. But a lot of people think the first invasion is as good or better than Soul Society itself. It's the best part of Bleach, and it's not hard to understand why watching this episode. So anyways, guys, that's my review. I think I've said my piece. I don't think there's anything super, just quick scan through. Asnot, Kenpachi, Ichigo, Overkill, Chojuro, Bankai, not that weak, kill. I'm going to go kill everybody. Alright, yeah, that's basically the summary. So, yeah, I think I covered everything. That's my review. Those are my thoughts. What did you guys think? This episode was probably the best one thus far. Looking forward to episode 6 immensely. It's going to be just as fucking fire, if not even better. So, yeah, this is what Bleach fans were excited about. So those of you skeptical about Bleach coming back, show them this episode because there's nothing wrong with this 10 out of 10 bad boy. So thanks, guys, for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always. And we'll see you guys back here next time. Drink responsibly as always. And have a good Monday. See you back here next time. Bye-bye.